Greetings, friends. Thank you for being part of Child Impact's mission to empower through education and eradicate exploitation. I would like to highlight for you some of my most memorable experiences from 2022. The year began with a celebration of a major project funded by Child Impact in partnership with ASI and Maranatha, the completion of a secondary school at Riverside Farm in Zambia. Generous donors contributed close to $100,000 through Child Impact to see this outstanding project through to completion. Child Impact sponsors support 201 children at the Riverside Primary School with plans to add 100 new students in January. Now these children have an opportunity to further their Adventist education right on the same campus. A government official present with his bodyguard at the grand opening provided one of the most dramatic moments during the visit.
Well, my dream is to have these kids take advantage of the facility here so that they can advance, realize their full potential. Yes, including my own kids. I think by next year or the year after, I'll have one of my kids here.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that is exciting.
I want one of my kids to be here.
Riverside Farm is an oasis surrounded by poverty. Craig Harding, director of Riverside, shared that young girls are being solicited by truck drivers to engage in prostitution. Due to this extreme poverty, they are faced with difficult choices.
I'm not feeling so good to watch my young siblings not to eat. I'm not feeling so good not to see my young ones going back to school because of not having enough money. So I'm like, can I be a sacrifice?
Child Impact immediately made arrangements for 35 girls to be housed in a rented facility walking distance from Riverside campus. As a longer-term goal, Child Impact began fundraising for a girls' dormitory to be built on site with a capacity for 100 girls. This project has been fully funded thanks to donors, and initial groundwork has been commenced. Riverside Farm will be the location for the Child Impact 2023 mission trip taking place from June 7 to 21. Please contact our office at 423-910-0667 if you have an interest in participating. Another memorable visit was the Falco's Children Village in Tanzania. A government official stated publicly that this is the best orphanage in the country. Honestly, it didn't feel like an orphanage. The children live in a home setting with mamas who shower them with love. The joy and laughter observed at any moment of the day catapulted this project to become my favorite. Perhaps you've heard the story of Miracle Moses, who was buried alive at birth. I'd encourage you to visit our YouTube channel and watch the full story. It was incredible to meet Miracle Moses and so many other children who have had a tragic start to life, but who have found hope and healing at Falco's.
We are here to try to rescue as many as God allows us to feed them, to clothe them, to educate them, to give them chance, to give them hope. If you have hope, you have enough. And we want to give them the hope of God, the hope of Christ, His love that transcends every border, every child, no matter how small, no matter how large. We bring this hope. We bring this hope, not just us, but for everybody who are crusaders with us for God's cause, like Child Impact, to bring hope to each child, to be a family of hope, Christ hope to all these children.
If they don't receive the love from us, how can they receive Jesus' love? How do they know Jesus loves them if they don't understand how much we love them? Because we truly do.
Jerry and Valerie Backus are modern-day heroes. Jerry is well into what would be considered retirement years, yet recently chose to adopt 3 babies, adding to the 4 children that already are part of his family. Jerry and Valerie inspire me to reflect on my own personal commitment. How committed am I? Am I all in to make a difference in every way possible? At Child Impact, our goal is to see all of the children at Falco sponsored to relieve some of the financial pressure from Jerry and his team. We would also like to help them with expanding their infrastructure to help even more children. We are currently raising funds for Falcos to resolve a compliance issue they have encountered with the Tanzania Health Department. The cafeteria space is not adequate for the number of children being served. I've been there during mealtimes, and crowded is an understatement. Child Impact is raising $75,000 to expand this space. This will enable Falcos to better serve the orphans and vulnerable children under their care. Thank you for prayerfully considering what you can do to support this project. It was an unforgettable experience to travel to the front lines of Ukraine with Jasper Arturiaga, our Child Impact videographer, and Brad Fisher. Our goal was to provide transportation for vulnerable women and children to home settings in Austria and Germany.
So we have here maybe young women, we have children, we have young girls, and of course there is unfortunately somewhere a need for girls and women. And human traffickers use that, and they get acquainted with these people. They promise them to help them, to bring them quickly across the border, quickly to the train station, other things, and people who just disappeared. And so I think it is important to have kind of official help organization who is trying to show them this is a bus. There will be 30, 40, 50 people on the bus, and getting the feeling, oh, these are really people who understand us, who love us maybe even. And with that kind of trust, it is a good help to use the buses and to bring them quickly to Austria, Germany, maybe even other countries.
The initiative was known as Project Safe Passage. One memorable moment was at the first stop on our 24-hour journey to safety. A teenage girl wanted to show me a video on her phone. It depicted horrific war scenes of human carnage. She shared the video with me, and I have it on my phone, but I don't show it or share it. It is a reminder to me of the ugliness in the world and the importance to shine a light in dark places and make a difference wherever and whenever possible. My heart was warmed to meet volunteers like Jürgen and Sylvia from Germany, Monica and Manuel from Austria, the bus driver Johann, and the Altheimer family who opened their home to a family of 5 refugees, and so many more amazing people who are sacrificing to make a difference during this crisis. Through Child Impact's emergency fund, weekly bus trips to the border provided desperately needed supplies. The return trip transported women and children to safety. Thank you for making this possible. A special shout out to Pastor Nate and Christina Dubb's 3 adorable girls who set up a lemonade stand at several local events in the Collegedale, Tennessee area to support Project Safe Passage in Ukraine. I would like to share an experience that kept me awake at night. This was caused by urgent phone calls. Our partner in Ethiopia is Suleiman Bayu. He was disabled by a tragic accident as a child and then lost his family to starvation. As an orphaned and disabled child, his life was difficult. However, he committed to make a difference and one day start an orphanage to help children who had experienced the kind of trauma that he had gone through. Today, the New Hope Orphanage and School serves over 500 of the most vulnerable children. So why the desperate phone calls? The children were hungry and there was no food. A regular monthly check for $4,000 had not yet arrived. In fact, Suleiman was concerned that it might not arrive at all. A Pentecostal church has supported this project for years, but have regularly placed pressure on Suleiman to join their denomination. They had even tried a hostile takeover at one point. Suleiman kindly shared with them that he is a Seventh-day Adventist. Their help with the children was greatly appreciated, but he did not have any intention to change his beliefs. Suleiman finds himself in a precarious situation, totally dependent on the funds to survive, but frustrating his benefactors by not adhering to their wishes. Child Impact has resolved to support Suleiman as he stands strong for his faith. We pray that our donors will step up and fill in the gap through sponsorship of children from New Hope, providing long-term stability for this powerful ministry. You can become part of the solution by visiting childimpact.org, selecting sponsorship, and then Ethiopia. Or you can call our office at 423-910-0667. Since the age of 16, I have been a globe-trotter. I've had incredible opportunities to visit dozens of countries and even live overseas 3 different times. A couple of years ago, someone asked me if there was any country that I haven't been to that I'm most interested in visiting. My singular response was India. That wish became a reality in November of this year. India is where Child Impact had its start. I'd heard a lot about the blind school, deaf school, and Sunrise Home. And during the trip, we also had the opportunity to visit Jaipur, Ongole, the Slum Preschool, Vizag Day School, and Bobley Day School. There were several highlights, including 9 former students from Sunrise returning for the weekend visit. I was impressed that all of them had professional employment and were flourishing as young adults. I learned that whenever they encounter a tough time, they would return to Sunrise as a safe haven and a place where they could find love and open arms. As we arrived at Sunrise, I was greeted by a bright student by the name of Jayashanth. It was a special time to meet this young man as he is being sponsored by my family. Jayashanth's father passed away, and when his mother remarried, he was abandoned. Without intervention from Sunrise, he likely would have starved. Sponsorship has provided Jayashanth with a place to live, healthy meals, an education, and most importantly, a loving atmosphere. Jayashanth is flourishing. I was able to witness firsthand the power of sponsorship. A small sacrifice by our family has created opportunities that he would not otherwise have. Friends, Jayashanth's story is repeated over and over with slight variations. Child Impact sponsors are bringing hope and a brighter future to thousands of children, one sponsored child at a time. As we wrap up 2022, would you consider partnering with Child Impact through sponsorship? Currently, we have close to 500 children awaiting sponsorship. You can select one or more by visiting childimpact.org and selecting sponsorship, or by calling 423-910-0667. I want to personally thank you for your generosity this year, and I'd like to add one more request. If you are wondering where you might make a special donation at the end of the year to make a real difference, please consider Child Impact's Where Needed Most Fund. As we begin the new year, resources are needed to make the biggest impact possible. Thank you, and may God bless you.